Welcome back. Today I thought we'd have a little look at an article I found on the Daily Mail while just perusing election-related content. The article isn't really related to it, but it did pique my interest. We will also be looking at a Facebook post related to it, along with the Twitter thread and some videos that are mentioned in the article itself. 2 arrested over Facebook and YouTube video of Quran burning amid spate of race attacks in wake of London and Manchester terror attacks. It is important to note now that I was unable to locate the date that the original videos that I'm going to show soon were originally uploaded to YouTube and Facebook. Because of this, I'm unsure as to whether or not this was done before the London and Manchester attacks or after. And then you could ascertain, I guess to an extent, you could assume whether or not they are related, or influenced by those attacks or not. That said, burning a book is not racial hatred. It has happened many times before. It is just words. It is just a book. It is meaningless, and if people take offence, they are taking offence. That's all they're doing. And they're whining about it because of what? Some special words happen to be written inside about a religion that's 400 years out of date within current society, because it teaches violence, and we keep getting told it doesn't because it is the...
It cannot be said often enough that these butchers of ISIL are no reflection of the true religion of Islam, which is a religion of peace.
Thank you, David Cameron, for constantly mentioning it. If anything, you've just proven that it is not the religion of peace, because you constantly have to reaffirm this. Police have arrested 2 people on suspicion of racial hatred after a video appeared online showing a man burning a copy of the Quran. The video shows a tattooed man standing in a kitchen complaining about being unable to start a fire. Speaking into the camera, he says, "I've been trying to get my poxy fire started for half hour, wondering what I can get it going with." Holding a paperback copy of the Quran up to the camera, he adds, "And then I found this." Well, as both videos are rather short, now is as good a time as any to show those particular book burnings off. A small side note, there are many book burnings on YouTube and on Facebook.
I've been trying to get my poxy fire started for half hour in the back garden, wondering what shit I can get it going with. And then I found this. Oh. And it worked. All I got left is the poxy shitty cover. And look, that's on the fire as well.
Can't you just feel all that warm racial hatred washing over your skin from the fire? Now, West Mercia Police released a Facebook statement and a Twitter post which linked to the Facebook post, so I think now would be a good time to have a little look at what they say about this incident. Following reports yesterday of an offensive Facebook post, 2 people have been arrested. A 45-year-old man from Worcestershire has been arrested on suspicion of posting videos or images likely to cause racial hatred, and a 45-year-old woman from Worcestershire has been arrested on suspicion of inciting racial hatred. Superintendent Kevin Purcell said, "This was a concerning incident, and we will be carrying out a thorough investigation. It is being investigated as a hate crime. We have been in contact with our local Muslim community via Councillor..." Yes, I cannot pronounce that name. Deputy Mayor for Worcester, who, as always, acts as a critical friend in support of what we do. If anyone has any concerns about social media posts that potentially incite hate, I would urge them not to share the posts, but to report the incident to the police and social media company at the earliest opportunity. While I can accept that when people think of Islam, they think of Arab people, Islam is not a race. And on the subject of hate crime, and considering the number of crimes that are ignored when it comes to death to the West, kill white people, ignored by the police, and the terrified nature of them when it comes to dealing with Islam, it is very hard for 1 second to believe that this won't be treated as anything other than an example of others to not speak out against Islam for fear of being put in prison for calling out hateful nonsense. Do I need to mention Rotherham again, and your inaction because you were afraid of being called racist? Now, one of the things I really enjoy about Facebook posts, especially on these community pages, is the complete lack of interaction from the police or from anyone with regards to comments that are given to them that are negative. There are some, yes, there are some that do in fact engage with their fans and critics. But there are many, like the police, because they're an establishment and are, quotes, busy dealing with hate crimes, to interact with the people that call them out on nonsense. The comments you see on the screen now are those that feature at the top of the comment thread on this particular Facebook post, so I'm going to read a couple to you. No more than a couple of days after the Manchester attack, I reported a post to Facebook that I had read which contained outright threats of more attacks on British people, and all Facebook did was tell me I can hide that person's post. Let's read the second one, shall we? Well, I have a problem of Muslims posting racial hate towards us, the British, by burning our flags, murdering our people, and preaching hate towards us in the street. Now what do you intend doing now? And we'll read one more. Facebook have got to start doing something because they're the ones allowing it, or why aren't they fined if they are allowing certain things to be aired? Now we are going to come back to the censorship part of Facebook posts later, and in the description I have left multiple links to videos and documentaries and incidents regarding Muslims interacting with the police, general populace, politicians, etc., all of which are relevant to comments made in these Facebook posts. If you are interested, by all means watch them. I do now want to make a little more headway on the article, because we will come back to the Facebook part I earlier mentioned that we would come back to then. Copies of the Quran are treated with high regard by Muslims, and any move to desecrate or destroy the holy book is seen as an insult. Quite a large number of people consider flag burning to be an insult, but I don't see anyone legislating to have that made illegal. And before anyone says it, yes, I am very much aware that comparing flag burning and the burning of a holy book, but my holy book, is not a very good comparison. It is, however, a relevant one because people get so easily offended. It comes as a press association investigation found Facebook and Twitter had failed to take down a number of misleading videos posted by nationalist group Britain First. Since April 19th, the group has posted at least 10 videos containing scenes substantially different from those described in comments by the group. It is somewhat surprising that the Press Association didn't happen to notice that Facebook has double standards, and so does Twitter with regards to race-related abuse. They'll happily block anyone that's deemed to be white and saying something negative towards a black person, but when it is a black person calling for the death of a white person, they'll happily ignore it. And I'm not going to defend Britain First, but I'm going to ask and wonder why you weren't more specific with scenes from those videos, and how it is supposedly relevant to this article of racial hatred and hate crimes. Maybe you should have specified which scenes, I guess. These videos have been shared almost 7,000 times altogether. Videos posted by the group often target minority groups, and analysis found they consistently posted false claims about the circumstances being shown, including untrue claims that Muslims and migrants have attacked women and police. In all honesty, I am surprised that they hadn't managed to mention the total number of views those videos got, as it is greater than the number of shares. And I also want to know what constitutes a minority now, because sometimes with these particular articles there is a conflation with race and religion, and it is rather irritating. Anytime someone gets attacked, if there is a difference in appearance, it has to be race-related. Granted, Britain First is not a very good example, and they do make it a point to call out a lot of Muslims who are very vocal with their disdain towards the United Kingdom. Anjem Choudary is a perfect example, which does raise the very interesting discussion of platforming. For example, Anjem Choudary has been on Question Time, Newsnight. He has repeatedly been on television and promoted, interviewed, where he has repeatedly spouted his own beliefs and how Islam should dominate these lands. He has at least once said that while Islam teaches to obey the law of the land, he obeys the law of Islam first. With some of the things he believes and promotes, should he be no-platformed? No. But in that same sense, should people like Britain First, should people like that guy who burnt a poxy little paperback book be no-platformed? No. Should they be arrested? No. Is it a hate crime? No. It is just a tosser, a bellend, a twat, a muppet, acting like one for everyone to see. Calling it a hate crime restricts our freedom to express ourselves. No one should be free of consequences, but when the consequences lead to the restriction of others to express their disdain towards a faith, you are then creating a protected class around a supposed minority race and religion that are apparently all the same thing to you. And arresting someone and charging them with inciting racial hatred or under a hate crime law which is as vague as fuck will set an undoubtedly dangerous precedent for how people behave with regards to their disdain towards religion, notably one religion in particular. Twitter said it does not comment on individual accounts for privacy and security reasons. Facebook said it is investigating the posts and that it understands that misleading information can be harmful to our community, and we want to do our part to address it. I don't want to sound like too much of a cynic, but I'm not going to take Twitter's word on anything with regards to how they treat individual accounts. They've gone out of their way to repeatedly ban, shadow ban, permaban a whole bunch of people who are utterly harmless, all the while protecting those that spout the right political beliefs. In fact, I think the only reason Donald Trump's Twitter hasn't been banned is because of how popular it is. And no one gives a fuck about Facebook, because it is a pile of shit. Thank you all for listening.